Another day, another brutal Antifa attack in America. This time, an alleged communist sympathizer named Joshua Jahn was 29 years old. His father, by the way, reportedly worked for NATO, and that's allegedly where he got the gun as well. He opened fire on ICE agents and illegal immigrants who were there, and pretty much anyone in the parking lot. According to eyewitnesses, anyone was near the ICE facility, killing 2 illegal aliens we know of specifically. One eyewitness said they were there waiting for an appointment. They were sitting in the parking lot, and suddenly the shooter was peppering the entire area. Cars, vans, windows were exploding all over the place. And she heard at least 20 shots. 20 shots. He used a sniper rifle, allegedly, from a rooftop location. He was clearly, at one point, he was trying to hit a van full of ICE agents, but it was an unmarked van. I think anyone with a brain realizes what his attempt was to hit this van, this unmarked van. We've seen all sorts of reports about ICE agents getting into these unmarked vans to go out in early morning hours to carry out raids. So he's there at an early morning hour, and he's shooting at an ICE van. Did he think he was going to hit a whole van full of ICE agents and inadvertently ended up killing 2 illegal migrants that were in the back of that van? Who knows? Because he shot himself. So we don't know. But here was the police response. Watch.
Today at approximately 6:40 a.m., we received a assist the officer call. We responded to the call, got to the scene, and we later learned that we had 4 individuals that were shot, 2 of them deceased, including the shooter. The DPD was able to locate the shooter who was deceased. We're going to be working this investigation shoulder to shoulder with our federal partners. The FBI is on scene, and right now I'm going to introduce you to the SAC of the Dallas Field Division, FBI Joe Rumrock.
Yeah, good morning. My name's Joe Rothrock. I'm the special agent in charge of the Dallas FBI Field Office. I want to first start by thanking our partners in local law enforcement, specifically the Dallas Police Department, for their quick and timely response. I can confirm at this time that the FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence. It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence, to include here in North Texas, where back on July 4th, we saw a coordinated attack carried out against an immigration detention center in Alvarado, Texas.
So that goes on from there. FBI Director Kash Patel, once again, taking to social media, has to get his message out there, and reports that they found bullets on the rooftop that said anti-ICE. Anti-ICE. Apparently, everyone's like now drawing things on bullets. I guess this is like the new thing. But if that's the case, if this is true, if you believe Kash Patel, if you believe the FBI, one of the most corrupt organizations in the world. So now we're like believing the FBI, just like we believed the official narrative of Tyler Robinson as the lone gunman in the Charlie Kirk assassination. So everyone's just writing on bullets now. Okay. People saying, was this some sort of a false flag operation, that he was actually trying to kill illegal aliens and he's some sort of a white supremacist? He's a right-wing nut job. He's a neo-Nazi. CNN doesn't have any idea what the motive is. Watch.
Those ICE agents not shot or hurt. We do not know, however, the motive of the shooter. That still remains an open question and will be under investigation, and we'll be continuing to ask our.
So CNN has no idea why you would get up early, get a rifle, and go to an ICE facility. Okay. All right. I guess I come back to like Occam's razor on this, but who the hell knows? But so I find this part of the story interesting because immediately big tech started like scraping or wiping his social media platforms and started like deleting stuff on the posts, like historical posts, Facebook. Here's his social media. Here's his Facebook page, and you can see his little avatar there is sort of a long-term old school meme, which has, sort of a communist sickle and hammer. And this is an old meme, which says, "Glorious exposition, comrade." This goes back many, many years to 4chan. I mean, this is like an old school meme. So did he love communism? Who knows? There was also Antifa messages on his social media posts that are old. They were there for a long time. All of this to say, it's being spun any which way. We asked you earlier, was this some sort of a false flag operation? I know someone who thinks that we are heading into a war. blood on the streets. That's J.J. Carroll, former Customs and Border Patrol agent, 24 years as a supervisor. And he's been warning us all about this. He's the author of the great book Treason, which I encourage you to read, the systemic destruction of the United States under the Biden administration. So, JJ, just good to have you back on the show here, of course, as always. Just at a 30,000-foot level, you see the lines being drawn on both sides right now. What do you make of this event today?
I think this is just the beginning. Just the beginning. You and I have had this discussion multiple times on the air and off, that the blood will be spilled on the streets of America. They will be of illegal aliens that are in custody, and that fight with the agents is going to be the agents and officers are going to, blood's going to be spilled. And then just random bystanders, like this guy's just randomly shooting his long arm all over the place. And I lay this all at the feet at two groups of people. First, the Democrats. You have last night Gavin Newsom from California saying that these are authoritarian thugs led by authoritarian leader Trump, and the thugs are ICE agents. They also say John Larson from Connecticut's calling us Gestapo and SS Nazis. You have the minority leader Hakeem Jeffries talking about how bad we are, that we need to be unmasked. We're going to dox everybody. We're going to let everybody know who they are. And the other side is, quote, our side, the Republican side. We are so impotent. We are so reactionary. We are never get ahead of the problem and say, okay, I identify the problem. Now let's go attack it. Let's arrest it. Let's put it in jail. No, we just sit back and we just act as if it's all going to play out. Everything's going to be okay. We watched Charlie Kirk's neck explode and die. We don't even know who the real shooter is. We don't know what's happened. Now we have ICE officers being shot, and you and Natalie could have played 24 hours of clip after clip after clip of ICE officers literally fighting for their lives every single day. This is unacceptable. How did we get here in America?
Well, okay, let's talk about Gavin Newsom, because he just signed into effect this no secret police law, which prohibits federal and local law enforcement from wearing facial coverings. And now the federal government is going to contest that and say, we actually don't have to do what you say. So what is the rationale that ICE agents do have to do that? Let's just talk tactically about what ICE is and is not, because here's the thing. I'm weary of this repetitive cycle where if something terrible happens, we all go to the internet and try to extrapolate something that is that is part of our conviction bias. He's a leftist, he's a rightist, we think this, we don't know this. Kash Patel makes it worse on his Twitter feed. We effing don't know. We are tired of this. So what is the message we need to know about ICE and why they might be a target? And then we can look at why migrants might be a target.
Well, ICE officers are the target because I collectively put myself in there as a retired Border Patrol agent. We're doing what the left does not want. The left wants demographic complete change and upheaval in America. That's how you fundamentally transform a nation. We are doing what they say is evil work, the work of Satan. Now, I think this is a great conversation to have, Natalie, about should ICE officers wear masks. I'm cut from the old cloth of law enforcement, and I'm being offered a job to go back and work as an ICE special agent. I'm just waiting for my entry on duty date. One thing that I will promise you, I will never wear a mask. Never. Now, I'm not bagging on the agents and officers that are wearing masks because they're afraid for their family and their lives. However, I'm not going to wear a mask because officer presence is paramount in law enforcement. I want them to see the reaction on my face, that I have no fear, that I'm going to come to you. And now as I move forward to engage with you, I want you to clearly see on my face that I'm going to do everything I can, and I mean everything I can, to get you in custody. And that means if you bring a knife, I'm bringing my gun. If I have to pull the trigger, I'm going to pull the trigger. People need to see the physical reaction in my face in order to understand what my motives and actions are. So as much as I can't stand Gavin Newsom, I want my agents and officers, I want people to see our faces now. Because we live in such a vile nation of no law and order, and we have mental patients, I understand why ICE officers, Border Patrol agents, etc., have their faces covered. Gavin Newsom's an idiot. because he wants to form some law in California, I, being a federal agent, are under the jurisdiction of the federal government. I don't have to follow your state laws. I'm a federal agent. I can do whatever I want to do under the statutes of the United States of America federal government. But I would never wear a mask. And if I get back into duty, which could be any day now, I will not wear a mask. Everyone's going to know who the hell I am and why I'm there.
Yes, I'm wearing my bearskin hoodie. I just had to walk the dog, and it's actually pretty cold out here in the Rocky Mountains, and it's pouring down rain as we speak. So I was outside in my bearskin hoodie trying to keep warm and walking the dog before the show. And bearskin hoodie is it is now my favorite hoodie, by the way. These guys are fantastic. Smart people are locking in their winter gear right now. In fact, right before the show, we were all talking on the staff here. All the men on the staff were saying, yeah, I want to get one of these. I want to get one of these. And so you can right now, and you get 60% off only if you get your hoodie early. All you need to do is text the word redacted to 36912. Or if you want to go to the website, you can do that too, which is bear.skin/redacted. Get 70% off. These things are like a tank. Plus, it zips right into the heavy storm rain jacket to become 100% waterproof. So Natalie was like, ooh, you got caught in a rainstorm just a few minutes ago. I was like, yes, I did. But I was totally dry because I had the outer rain shell right on there, the soft shell. So anyway, go there right now. Go to text the word redacted, 36912, to lock in your 60% off again. 36912. Oh, I love that. Well, I didn't know this, that you're about to join ICE again. That's amazing. Hope you'll be able to still do the show. I don't know what sort of restrictions you'll have to be able to speak with us here, JJ. I hope you will. I think, this all comes about 24 hours after The Atlantic published a piece which kind of blew our socks off. The Atlantic, which is like a liberal bastion, is admitting that left-wing terrorism is on the rise. And they say for the first time in more than 30 years, attacks by the far left outnumbered those by the far right in the wake of the Charlie Kirk shooting. And then, of course, you have this incident today with this guy with Antifa messages trying to shoot up an ICE facility. So
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, he was shooting it. There's nothing. Yeah.
Well, there's no motive. We don't know the motive, right? I mean, when you were playing that for CNN, you know what popped up in my mind? I can't believe it was so random. It was the movie The Jerk, where Steve Martin is running around the gas station and the bullets are hitting the oil cans, and he's screaming, "The shooter hates oil and oil cans." That's how absurd the CNN is. We don't know the motive. Are you kidding me? He didn't go to Starbucks and shoot up a bunch of baristas. He went to an ICE facility to shoot and kill ICE officers. I sometimes, I swear to you, I feel like I live in some of the dumbest times in modern history. And the propaganda is so
that's the thing, is that you look at Kash Patel's like, here are the bullets. We know the motive. It was far left, right? And that doesn't help because his credibility is low right now with independent thinkers. And so it feels like, wait, what would be the purpose here of this being another of a false flag? What would be the purpose here, right? Does it expand government power? That's possible. And it almost, in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, I believe nothing anymore. So even the most, you can see that I'm just mad because I can't stand the posturing anymore, and I don't trust anything any longer.
JJ, it's like finding passports after 9/11 that are not burned in the rubble, and we're being told to buy a certain story. So when I see these Kash Patel tweets with messages written on bullets, it's infuriating. So are we being led down a path where there's some bigger thing at play here that we're just not seeing?
I think there could be, and I think this is the greatest sin of the left and their greatest accomplishment. And when I throw the left in, I mean the rhinos too, is they've created an environment in America where we trust no one or anything. Look, that shooter that killed Charlie Kirk, it could be that kid. It could be so clean cut. I don't believe it, but let's say it is. We're still never going to believe it because we don't trust the people that are in our government. Look, Kash Patel testified that Jeffrey Epstein had, hundreds of girls, underage girls, trafficked to him. No one else. Case closed. Let's move on, right? So I mean, and the passports are laying there. It's just like the Rolls-Royce engines on the plane that hit the Pentagon. disintegrated from the heat. However, the bones and jaw lines and teeth of the passengers remained intact, so we were able to identify who was. It's so absurd, and this is the absurdity of the world we live in, is that nothing makes sense. Nothing adds up, right? You look at the shooting of Charlie Kirk. This was, as someone that was in law enforcement, that would be a training video 101 of what never to do. To never allow your crime scene to be destroyed. They were dismantling the tent that was covering Charlie Kirk's murder.
Yeah.
They were disassembling it. Like, not like an hour or two later after he took the videos and everything. No. Right then, like after he got shot, there's a guy taking the SIM cards out. There's guys handing stuff to each other behind the scenes, and we're all told to believe that this kid killed him, and that a 30-06 bullet got stuck in his neck because he's superhuman. Dear God, America, please wake up. Please.
Well, that's why
Yes.
why I brought these screenshots of this Atlantic piece, because I feel like it's relevant to us to consider that we may be being led into a class war, because we can easily be here and be like, here we go, it's the far left again. Media won't admit it. Same story, right? But then we have people we don't trust playing into that narrative. And I'm like, well, then I don't trust that. It's a double negative right now. So look at the way the Atlantic covered this, that, we better admit that left-wing terrorism is on the rise. Take a look at this. It says we found left-wing terrorism has increased, and it's the first time that has happened as opposed to the far right. So it's left-wing versus far right. So they're denying that there's even such a thing as the far left. And then take a look at this. They say it's not because leftists are more violent. It's because the right feels like they're getting what they want right now. So they don't have the need for violence, which, okay, is condescending. But then take a look at this next one. I cannot right now. It talks about how when a right-leaning perp strikes, they hit big groups, like a supermarket or whatever. When a leftist strike, they only go after one person, like Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, or President Trump, or now Charlie Kirk. Isn't that nice of them that the leftists only choose one person instead of, like, they're just going after a targeted hit, a precision strike? But the right, and that's not true. Antifa targets big groups. We saw the shooting in the Catholic Church of many children. So that is utterly stupid. And again, plays into what I may see as stoking a class war. What do you think of that?
I believe in propaganda. I believe it is an absolutely effective tool. And I think that we have been propagandized my whole adult life. I look back, I don't trust or believe anything. And you're right, this is becoming a class warfare, and they have to keep us against each other and looking over our shoulders because they're robbing us blind. You talk about a surveillance state. You talk about maybe a new Patriot Act type of thing happening. I'm going to tell you guys, and we've had this discussion before, we are in a when and how bad situation, not an if, and that is the terrorist attack that's going to happen on America's soil. So when you want to talk about a false flag, or you want to talk about something that we can't determine what it truly is, that is going to happen. We have hundreds of thousands of special interest aliens in our country. Everyone that I talk to that's in this space, in this terrorism intelligence space, is saying this is when and how bad. It's coming. It's coming. And you know what? For a long time, I pushed off and said, I don't know. Now I'm absolutely convinced this is going to happen. I just do. And you're talking about false flags, and you're talking about surveillance state. What a better way to go in and rip more of our freedoms right from out from under us when that happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You have, you let our borders wide open. Mm-hmm. You have terrorist cells in the United States. Activate them, and then throw us all into chaos. And then we give up our civil liberties, just like the Patriot Act, just like after 9/11. And we are all sitting ducks. I think you're absolutely right about that. And you're not the only one to tell our show that. And I just, speaking privately with individuals, all seem to be saying the same thing. So keep your head on a swivel, my friends. J.J. Carroll is author of the book Treason. I highly encourage you to read it. Just learned today that he's also going to be joining ICE soon. Can't wait to hear about that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm ready to go. I just feel like I'm being called back into the fight, the physical fight, and I'm excited. I'm hoping that it does materialize. and somebody that watches me doesn't say, we don't want him in there. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted for sure.
All right. Well, God bless you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, JJ. Great to see you.
Good to see you guys. Have a good day.